Hi, I'm Amy with Eastside Wellness Chiropractic. The next exercise in our active care series is a single leg hip bridge. This is a progression from our two leg hip bridge, which you can watch on a previous film. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to have Kara start with both feet flat on the floor and then extend just one leg. What I would like for her to do is to keep this leg even with the opposite knee. What I mean by that is I don't want one foot kind of floating up, or I don't want her leg floating down. I want her to just stay about ballpark even with that knee. Now, Kara is going to put both of her arms up in the air. She's going to lock those shoulders using those lats. She's going to pull her toes up, just being on that heel. Now, she's going to drive through her heel and bring her hips up into extension, locking out into terminal extension, and then slow and controlled bringing those hips down. Perfect. Making sure she's driving through this heel. Let's go ahead and do that again. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Good. Now nice, slow and controlled coming down. Again, coming down should actually take about twice as long as coming up in the hip bridge. So it should take about 2 seconds to come up. 1, 2, pause for 1, and then down, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Another variation of our single leg hip bridge is called a cook bridge. We're going to use this ball, go ahead and drop this leg, and we're going to lock the ball between her torso and her leg, right at her hip flexor. She's going to lock this in there. She's going to lift her toes just like we did with the other hip bridge, and you're going to drive up exactly the same way, except this time we're forcing her hip into flexion. We have her knee in flexion, and we've also flattened out her back. So go ahead and press up into that hip bridge, all the way up, hold for 1, down, 2, 3, 4. Let's go up one more time, up for 2, 1, 2, hold for 1, down, 2, 3, 4. That's the cook hip bridge. Finally, the last form of a single leg hip bridge is we're going to add resistance. You can do this by using a long band. What she's going to do is she's going to hold the band in each hand, and she's going to hook the band around her foot. Now, she's going to bring her arms down in a 45-degree angle next to her body. Perfect. Making sure to lock that in. She's keeping her leg similar position to her opposite knee, pulling those toes up, bringing this up a little bit higher, as high as you can. Now go ahead and press into that extension. Good. What's happening here is this band is providing resistance as she presses her hips up into the air. She's going to keep her hands against the floor. So go ahead one more time. All the way up, hold, and then down, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Good. Bring this up. Perfect. Go ahead. Up, 1, 2, down, 2, 3, 4. So our stair-step progression for our single leg hip bridge is just our first single leg hip bridge, toes drawn up. Second would be the cook hip bridge using the ball tucked in at the hip flexor between the torso and leg. And third would be the single leg hip bridge using a band for resistance. That's our single leg hip bridge progression.